Hello, I'm Jasmine Aerojak with the Midday News. An armed suspect involved in a robbery at the Manu Cash and Carry supermarket in Port Moresby was shot by his counterpart while trying to escape the scene at around 2 p.m. yesterday. According to the police report, the robbers were caught by the public while trying to escape the scene. However, one of the robbers allegedly shot the other. The other three suspects managed to drive off in a waiting car when police arrived. Commander of NCD Central Benjamin Turi is confident to apprehend the trio who are currently on the run. He said police will interview the wounded suspect and retrieve the CCTV footage from the scene. Emergency response to Tropical Cyclone Mila is expanding to complement and reinforce national efforts across the affected provinces in the country through a funding assistance of approximately 8.4 million kina from the United States government through the International Organization for Migration in partnership with the PNG government. Tropical Cyclone Mila triggered a sudden onset humanitarian emergency across Midday, East New Britain, West New Britain, New Ireland, and the autonomous region of Bougainville, overwhelming local coping capacities and requiring urgent, coordinated life-saving action. Severe access challenges in remote outer islands and low-lying atolls limited assessment coverage in some of the hardest-hit communities, leaving critical information gaps during the initial emergency phase. The Korea-PNG government widespread destruction and population displacement in the affected areas, prompting activation of national coordination through the National Emergency Operations Center, led by the National Disaster Center. To fill this gap, the U.S. has expanded its response to Tropical Cyclone Mila to complement and reinforce national efforts across the affected provinces in the country through a funding assistance of $2 million, approximately 8.4 million kina. As the implementing agency, IOM will provide operational, logistics, and protection-sensitive delivery support to help translate assessment findings into rapid humanitarian action while reinforcing government leadership and oversight throughout the emergency response. Implementation will be carried out in close coordination with national and provincial authorities, the United Nations system, local communities and humanitarian organizations, and bilateral partners, including the governments of Australia and New Zealand. Prime Minister James Marape has thanked France, AFD, the European Union, and the European Investment Bank for their growing partnership with Papua New Guinea. He shared his acknowledgement following high-level discussions held on Tuesday, the 19th of May in Paris, with officials from AFD, French government, representatives, and European development partners. He confirmed that one major outcome from this meeting was confirmation that financing negotiations for the redevelopment of Rabaul port were now nearing completion.
The Rabaul Port redevelopment project that recently received the National Executive Council's approval and is expected to move towards signing in the coming weeks. The project forms part of a broader green port strategy and is being jointly funded by AFD, the European Investment Bank, and the European Union. Prime Minister James Marape described the redevelopment as a strategic national project that would transform East New Britain and strengthen Papua New Guinea's position in Pacific trade and logistics. The Prime Minister said the government's vision was to transform Rabaul into a major regional import-export hub, a Pacific redistribution center, and a modern green port supporting tourism, trade, manufacturing, and downstream processing industries. He said with the development of the port comes the opportunity to establish industries around it and want economic activities like cocoa, fish, and timber processing happening around this port. The upgrading of Rabaul's green port is a blending project for a total of 60.3 million euro with a grant from the European Union and loans from the European Investment Bank and the French Development Agency, including a requested EFSD Plus guarantee for the EIB loan. IEFSD Plus Guarantee is a financial instrument under the European Fund for Sustainable Development Plus that supports investments in high-risk regions by providing risk mitigation through guarantees and blending instruments. It enables private investors to fund sustainable infrastructure and development projects in unstable or challenging markets. Ruth Rongola, TVWAN News.
Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Kochenko has, on behalf of PNG, conveyed the country's appreciation to the Republic of Korea for its support and partnership over the last 50 years, making a special mention of its assistance to PNG through the Korea International Cooperation Agency. He acknowledged that these contributions have played a vital role in strengthening PNG's human resource capacity, infrastructure development, and institutional resilience. Minister Kochenko made these remarks on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Kochenko acknowledged that the Republic of Korea had remained a steadfast friend and partner. IBS University has partnered with Kundu International Academy to provide scholarship opportunities for high-achieving grade 12 students in Papua New Guinea. The partnership was formalized yesterday in Port Moresby through the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding under the Nadesalingam Foundation for Education.
To IBS University, the partnership between IBSU and Kundu International Academy is part of its wider plan to improve access to higher education through partnerships with secondary schools across the country. Under the program, top-performing students will be eligible for merit-based scholarships covering up to 100% of tuition fees valued at more than 70,000 kina, even over 4 years. Director of Institutional Development at IBSU University, Sagara Wijeratne, described the agreement as a meaningful collaboration that will create greater opportunities for students. Acting Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Glory Sujita Anthony says the agreement will help strengthen pathways for students entering tertiary education through IBS University and IBS College. She added that the scholarship opportunities will be offered to eligible students subject to scholarship entry examinations. Kundu International Academy Principal Emmanuel Liawia Pui welcomed the partnership, saying institutional collaborations are important for creating better opportunities for students. The Academy becomes the first school to sign onto the program this year, with IBS University expecting more schools to join in the coming months. The university also plans to expand the scholarship program to schools in other provinces across the country. IBS University revealed that the initiative is aimed at widening access to tertiary education and supporting academically outstanding students across Papua New Guinea. Michael Tamtipais, TVWAN News.
Turning abroad, the New South Wales economy is set to grow slower than the rest of the country, weighed down by bigger mortgages and rising interest rates. A month out from the state budget, the Min's government warning they'll have to be spending restraint. But it is hiring an extra 1,000 nurses using cash it's already tucked away.
Rush hour at Liverpool Hospital, and staff had a new admission to contend with.
You've actually caught us at probably one of our busiest times.
But Chris Minns came with a peace offering, more support for a nursing workforce that's under strain.
These people deserve more than anyone. You know, fire brigades are the heroes. They're all the pretty boys with muscles.
You know the Premier was a firefighter.
The next phase of so-called safe staffing levels will soon begin with a ratio of 1 nurse to every 4 patients in general, surgical and specialty wards. It's already helping exhausted staff in emergency.
As a previous ED nurse, seeing the ED rollout of safe staffing levels has brought great relief.
Close to $1 billion was previously set aside for the project. Now a new round of recruitment will begin.
It'll be well over probably 1,000 nurses over the next 9 to 12 months.
But future spending on public services could have to be reined in, with the state's economy losing momentum. It was forecast to grow by 2.5%. That's now been slashed to just 1%. The Treasurer says the war in the Middle East will push up costs and reduce spending power in the state with the biggest mortgages.
Higher interest rates hurt working Australians in every state, but they hurt working Australians more in this state.
Excuses, excuses, excuses. Today, Daniel Mookie continues his theme of finding somebody else to blame for his economic position in New South Wales.
Despite their controversial rollout, the government says investment in renewable energy projects is helping stave off recession. But the economic engine room is running out of puff.
Back home in sports, the POM AFL 2026 season is well underway, with the competition heading into its third round of games this weekend. In the senior men's ladder, the Uni Tigers are sitting on top, reflecting strong recruitment during the off-season. Overall, teams are looking settled and are eager for the season ahead. A major boost for the competition is the return of the Defence and Tauranga Suns clubs to the competition, which will greatly assist with oval availability and competition depth. This season features growth in both divisions, with 11 teams in the men's competition and 8 teams in the women's competition. POM AFL has also welcomed a new platinum sponsor for the naming rights following the withdrawal of Money Plus. Jackie Enterprise is now the new sponsor, and the competition will officially be known as the Jake POM AFL 2026 Premiership Cup. Rabbitohs forward Jai Arrow has announced his immediate retirement from the NRL on medical grounds following a diagnosis of motor neuron disease.
The Rabaul, in a statement on Wednesday, confirmed that 30-year-old recently received the diagnosis of a motor neuron disease after months of testing and treatment. Arrow played 178 NRL games since making his first-grade debut in 2016, as well as playing 12 State of Origin matches for Queensland. He won the George Pickens Medal in 2025 as the Rabbitohs Player of the Year and the Bob McCarthy Club Person of the Year award in the same year. Arrow also won the South Cares Award for outstanding contributions to the community in 2025 and was awarded the Barrow Appreciation Award in 2024. A highly respected competitor across a decade in the NRL, Arrow said he was grateful for the support he had received in recent months. He thanked everyone for the support over what has been an incredible, difficult and uncertain period in his life.
I've recently received a diagnosis relating to nerve and neurological condition. Further tests, specialist reviews and medical processes are still ongoing, and my doctors are continuing to assess my condition. Over recent months, my symptoms have affected different parts of my everyday life. On medical advice, I'm not currently medically cleared to train or play at the required level, and I'll be stepping away from those duties while I focus fully on my health, treatment and rehabilitation.
Rabbitohs CEO Blake Solis said Arrow's contribution to the game, the club and the community will never be forgotten.
His contribution to the game, to our club and the community will never be forgotten. Jai reached the highest levels the sport had to offer. But aside from the brave and unrelenting player he was on the field, he was a terrific clubman. He won our Clubman of the Year award last year, makes great contributions to South Cares and other charities in St Vincent de Paul and Whatability. Jai, Barina, Isla, his wider family remain in our thoughts, and we'll be doing everything we can to support Jai through the months ahead.
Rabbitohs coach Wayne Bannett described Arrow as an honest, genuine, hardworking young man and always put his family and his team first.
A wonderful young man to be part of a football club. He has all the attributes that make good footballers, and I see some of his teammates here today as well, and like all of us, we can't believe what's going to happen to him, but the fact is it's happened, and it has to call time. But what he does know, he knows he's got the support of everybody in the change room, and he knows he's got the support of everybody on the staff, and he knows everybody that's a part of South Sydney has their support. He'll need that, but we'll always be there for him in this club. So,
Terry Long with TVWAN Sports.
And our midday news ends on that note. Do join us at 6 tonight for more news and sports. Bye now.
Eman God ground, tere sera ura yai nare.